Green Dad, PP.
I'm more like the little brother of the bunch. And a lot of these guys protected me from my age growing up. And I'm just trying to do that to the youngsters today. I was a 6-year-old, 7-year-old kid involved in street life. And I knew that wasn't for me. It took family members to pass away on me, especially my grandmother. I was staying across the street from her. So this is like home. And it just makes sense to me to give back to all the kids and the kids I want to start.
Those choices that Jay was talking about, they have a place for it. And one of the things that Jay said that I would like to piggyback on is that when he went to jail for 25 years, me and I went to the penitentiary the same day. And he had 25 years to double life. And I had a hung jury. 11 people found me guilty. One person found me not guilty at Long Beach Court. And I jumped on the deal. It took 5 years. But when they put us in that same facility, they didn't know if I had 5 years or 25 years. So I had to carry myself like I had 55 years because it's all about decision making. So to make a long story short, I went through that system and I learned. And when I returned back to the community, I said, you know what? I got some leadership skills and I want to use them for the positive. When I got back to my community, I decided to raise my kids. And that's when I really got in touch with Brother Keith Lilly. And when he's talking about hiring people with the Boys and Girls Club. You just can't hire anybody in the community. You gotta hire people that have experience. I didn't look at myself as a gang member. I looked at myself as a gang expert.
We play the blame game. It's the system's fault. It's the environment. It's because I don't have a father at home. And the truth of the matter is we have to be responsible for the choices that we make. Because the choices that we make create the environment that we live in. And that kind of decides what communities we end up in. I made some choices as a young man, and it took me to be responsible for those choices to put myself in a position now to succeed in life. And so I think that's the major thing right now within this community is just being responsible for who you are and how you show up. And I think that kind of controls what community you live in.
So for me, I think it's important for me to grasp as much information as I can about programs, about activities, understand it, digest it, and I can pass that on. So that's another way to be preventive, is to gather as much information because other people may not have the same resources. But if I can grasp it, understand it, and share that with them, and that's a big thing besides just sports.
Talking to other mentors out in the world, how is it that you break through to our students?
I broke through it. My dad, rest in peace, did a good job of kicking my tail.
Working the Midnight Basketball Program. I've been a community activist for about 40 years. Let me tell you about my initiation to the gang. I never joined the gang, but this is my initiation. I left here in 1975, went away to college. When I came back home, I got a job working at King Park. At that time, I said it was about the worst gang-infested area in Long Beach at the time. We talked about the mid-'80s. I was working at that park. Caught a guy breaking in my office, stealing out my drawers. I jammed him up, said something to him. He throwing up gang signs at me. I said, I don't care where you're from, let me catch you in my office again. Well, later on that day, I happened to do a walk out to the field where I saw about 50 gang members laying under the shade tree kicking back. When they saw me, they said, here he is.
I've been shot and stabbed and all the things that come along with gang life, paid all the consequences that come along with it. I changed my life in 1988 and dedicated it to providing services to young men, young women like myself, so they don't have to grow up to be like me. And I've been doing that ever since. I'm glad to be here today working with these gentlemen, being on a panel to discuss our lives and what we do now. I work with Central Cha now. One of the things that we do is we make silk screen t-shirts. Long Beach for Vida, meaning Long Beach for life. It's our social enterprise. And
Hi, it's been on games. I thought about all the resources that I had around me. Some I called right away, like Keith Lilly, which I talk to almost every day. There's other guys like Danny Flores. I called him yesterday, and he said, "Leonard, don't worry, I'll be here." Tim Gibbons right here. I called him maybe about a week ago. He had a basketball some type of game for his son. He said, the only reason I stopped, he answered his phone, Papa, because I saw your name.
I feel that they came. It's like even what we're going through right now, just us being here speaking. Every man that you see before you, I have a personal relationship with. I know them all. I've been in their homes, and they all come from all walks of life. But that is the community and the village that we have to get back to. Us being able to have those relationships where we are our brothers and sisters keepers. So now, the Marquis and Poly, I actually graduated here in 1989, and I agree with the knock. This is the greatest institution.
There we go.
It says enter to learn and go forth to serve. But when you go forth to serve, what are you serving? What is the purpose? And that's what our purpose and all of our mission is, to teach young men and women how to find their purpose. Because
they got a BA degree, a master's degree. Mr. Brown got a master's degree. They think they're giving it to them. I feel so good about it because otherwise they wouldn't have got that opportunity. It's like you make a mistake and they're holding you to the correct the mistake. And God forgives you. Why can't they? That's just right.
Show the difference to the many people. I don't like games because it's a choice, and my whole thing is to let them know that there is a choice to how you show up in your life, but it comes down to choices in the moment. So if I'm off with drugs, I have a choice to be loyal to the way I show up in life every day and continue to make the same decisions, or I have a choice to make a different decision and commit to a new future. And that's basically what I'm about, is helping people commit to a new future.
You talk about choice. How do you get people to see that they have a choice and they're not destined for one future?
Well, first of all, I like to point out that you have the options are there, but you're blinded to them because of the things that you tell yourself. You know, we have a voice inside our head, and that voice sometimes doesn't tell us the truth, right? And it tells us things that puts us in boxes and makes us prisoners to our beliefs, such as if I say I'm not a good writer, of course